Thank you, Isaac, for this inspiring insight into the reality and everyday operation of innovation within the companies. But just want to ask you one question, because if I get it correctly, what you're arguing for, and that's what I understand, this fantastic book, which the printed version I have with myself here, Freedom Incorporated, is about, is that's innovation which is fueled by freedom and responsibility. Innovation which is fueled by democracy and by participation.
I have just yesterday a discussion with a gentleman from 3M, one of your sponsors, who bought my book. And he said, I totally agree, by the way, the first page there, second paragraph is on 3M. Although we didn't study this company, but they were kind of predecessors. Yeah, there are two ways to drive innovation. The one is easy. Take a lot of money and throw it in some kind of ivory tower that's called R&D facility or something like that, and expect something to happen. Usually nothing happens. It becomes a cost center, and they're not extremely effective. They ask always for more and more money. The other approach is what's called sometimes bottom-up or participative, right? You create an environment where everyone considers as part of his job, whatever he's doing, being an accountant, a PR person, to drive innovation in a company. And that takes time, because that's about shared behaviors, that's about certain values that are embodied in the daily behavior. You can't decree it. It's not because somebody decided to do that it happens, right? It takes years and years. But this is something that, in my opinion, is the only way to have a continuously innovating, wealth-creating companies. Unfortunately, that is not the case. Only 1% of companies survive 40 years. Only 1%. Only 2 to 5% of companies outperform in the span of 10 years. 2 to 5% their competition. Others, they're just muddling through. Their performance is like that, right? So to be a great company that is continuously innovating and creating wealth for everyone, all the stakeholders, it's extremely difficult, right? There's no magic bullet. You have to take time and you have to build a certain culture and environment that is, in my opinion, an opinion of all these great leaders, is based on providing freedom and responsibility to everyone in the company.
If we were to put what you're saying in the context, trying also to address the global in the title of this Congress, Global Forum in Wrocław, what you're saying actually is that in a sense the process, the bottom-up process, is actually very much related and linked to something which we would in the West, in the US and in Europe, and European Union, which is an innovative animal on its own, we would very much link to our values and the ways we organize our lives. If we were to generalize a bit what you're saying about the markets and the companies and projecting into the culture, organizational culture of our states and societies, we would obviously say that, you know, innovation is so much embedded in our culture also on the axiological level and through our values. Actually, I would rephrase the title of your book into The West Innovation Freedom Incorporated. This would be something which sort of fits into my understanding of democracy. But there are others who do things the other way around. And you would see the innovation happening on various levels in the places around where we would consider people are not suffering from the oversupply of freedom and liberty. And if you look into the global context, the competition, which has been fierce over the last few years with the countries and the economic new entrants and new powers, which do not really follow our rationale for innovation.
You want me to comment quickly?
If you could address this very quickly. Yeah.
Okay. I'm often asked about the relation with what I observed in these companies and the democracy, right? And this is to wonderful session yesterday about values and democracy. There is a relation. The relation is at the level of values. So democracy is a simple tool, and there is no place of democracy in companies. That is not an appropriate tool. You can't stage votes to make decisions and things like that. But on the fundamental level, you have the same human beings that are citizens and the same human beings that earn their life in organizations and companies, ministries, think tanks, and they have the same human needs. When I'm talking about being treated as intrinsically equal, that's about human dignity. That's the Article 1 of United Nations. That's égalité, which is in égalité, fraternité, liberté, right? Or the French kind of main motto. So you're talking about the same things, and I'm not a philosopher, so it's not about the discussions philosophical of who believes in what. One of my PhDs is in psychology, and there is a fundamental, empirically proven, extremely serious work on the psychology of human needs that was done both in Western Europe, in China, in East Asia, everywhere. And we, as human beings, have universal needs. There are three, not Maslow, right? There are three. I'm talking about Getz and Ryan, two American psychologists that worked 30 years on that. And this three is one, being treated as an intrinsically equal human being with dignity, respect, trust, and so on. Two, being able to realize our full potential that is in us as human beings. Two, three, being able to self-direct. And if you build an organization or a society that respects, nourishes these three essential human needs, you will succeed in a sustainable way, right? The key word that I heard yesterday is sustainability. You can make some of the growth in countries like China economic, denying that, and some companies can grow by denying that for several years, but in the long run, they'll be very quickly dead.